Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a good weekend. It's turned out to be another dreary day here, but it's not going to stop us from covering the automotive news. So today we're going to take a look at another Ford story. This time we're going to focus in on the new generation of the Ford Escape. So as I'm sure you've all heard by now, Ford is doing away with all their sedans in their lineup, namely the Taurus and the Fusion, and they're essentially hoping that you're going to move into their crossovers and small SUVs if you're staying within the Ford family. And the Escape is kind of one of these vehicles that they are also focusing on redoing at the same time so that they are able to attract some of these customers that were buying sedans previously. So the 2020 Ford Escape will actually be the fourth generation of the Escape. If you remember back in like the mid 2000s, it was actually more of an SUV. You can see a picture of the second gen here. And then for the third generation, they made it much more of a smaller crossover vehicle, which has been pretty successful for Ford. And now for 2020, they're redoing it again. But this is a very important vehicle to Ford as it's their second best selling vehicle in their lineup. But the sales actually did decrease quite a bit in 2018 to about 272,000 units in the US, where the previous 4 years straight were all a little bit over 300,000. So not a huge decrease, but definitely measurable, which I think was part of the pressure of accelerating this timeline to redevelop this new generation. But that's enough background on the Escape, so let's dive in now and actually take a look at some of these images and videos of the new generation. And we actually have some pretty detailed information now about the powertrain and some of the details of this new generation. So in this Escape, there's actually going to be 4 different powertrains. 2 of them will be hybrid as well, so this is the first time that the hybrid powertrain is coming back to the Ford Escape since way back in the second generation. It's also notable that the new Ford Explorer platform is having a hybrid powertrain, so it definitely seems to be a focus of Ford to bring back these hybrid powertrains in their current generation of vehicles. But starting out with the smallest motor, the Escape will see a 3-cylinder 1.5 liter engine. This motor has been used in Europe for a while, but this is actually the debut of it in a North American vehicle. This is also the only 3-cylinder in the industry that has cylinder deactivation, which seems kind of crazy. It's already a 3-cylinder engine, but at certain RPMs and certain speeds, say highway cruising, it will actually turn off one of the cylinders and go down to a 2-cylinder vehicle in efforts to save even more fuel. But again, it's a 3-cylinder. Seems kind of ridiculous to me. But anyway, this motor is rated at 180 horsepower, but note that that is on 93 octane. And then the next step up from this, which is still a non-hybrid platform, would be of course, Ford's 2-liter turbocharged Ford cylinder, which puts out 250 horsepower, again at 93 octane. So it's kind of annoying that Ford is measuring the output of these vehicles with 93 octane when most buyers of this will probably not put in premium fuel. But we see that the horsepower bumps up a little bit from last generation with this 4-cylinder engine. And both of these engines will be matched to an 8-speed automatic transmission, which is another new feature of this new generation Escape. The 1.5 liter will come with front-wheel drive or an optional disconnecting all-wheel drive, and the 2 liter will only come with disconnecting all-wheel drive. But as I mentioned, there's also 2 hybrid versions of the Escape available. There will be a full hybrid gasoline electric model, which will come in 2-wheel or optional disconnecting all-wheel drive again. And Ford will also offer the Escape with a plug-in gasoline electric powertrain, where the range of this battery power for the Escape PEHV plug-in hybrid electric vehicle Ford says will be at least 30 miles, so 30 miles of range on battery power alone. And then both of these hybrid models will be equipped with a ZVT transmission that's continuously variable. Some of these are popular over on the Honda vehicles, for example, and other hybrids. We have no word yet on fuel economy ratings for these hybrids or for the gas-only models, but Ford did say that they're aiming for a range of at least 400 miles per tank on every trim level and every model of the Escape. And then this range would top out with at least 550 miles of driving range on a full tank of gasoline in the hybrid models. If Ford is able to hit these range numbers, I'd put it towards the top of other compact hybrid crossovers, but still behind the Chevy Equinox diesel, which can go 581 miles on a tank. But again, that's using diesel. So going through some of the other features of the Escape quick, and you can also see some of these in the stock footage I'm overlaying, but Ford will continue to bring their kind of terrain select features into the Escape, so you can change the driving mode to suit your different terrain, weather, driving preference. So that menu is kind of being expanded to include eco and sport modes along with different terrain conditions such as slippery, snow, gravel, sand, things like that. So it's all being kind of combined into one feature. into one system now, where before it was kind of two separate systems on other vehicles, like for example my 2015 Explorer. One thing I'm surprised about is that the Ford Copilot 360, which essentially the automatic cruise control system, it includes lane centering and adaptive cruise control, which can bring the Escape to a complete stop. That feature will actually come standard now on these new generation. The Escape also includes some other features that seem to kind of foreshadow Ford's self-driving tech that will hopefully be coming out soon. So there's the second generation of Ford's Active Park Assist, which automatically parallel parks the Escape, while Evasive Steering Assist detects a slower moving or parked vehicle, and to avoid a collision will help the driver steer around the obstacle. So some of these systems are really kind of laying down the framework and the infrastructure that is needed for Ford to eventually really get into some self-driving cars and full autonomy. Between this and then the Ford Copilot 360 feature, there's actually quite a bit of tech in the sensors and the features that are built into this Escape already. So I won't be surprised if in a handful of years from now, say the 2024 range, 2025, the Escapes will actually have some of that autonomy built into them, since a lot of that framework seems to be there already. As for interior space, the second row of seats in the non-hybrid models can actually slide, so that can increase the legroom when you push them back, or also you can push them forward to get more storage space into the back. The rear cargo area holds 37.5 cubic feet of cargo, or about 4 sets of golf clubs, so it's actually pretty sizable storage space. And for overall interior space, the 2020 Escape should have slightly more head, shoulder, and hip room, Ford says, versus the outgoing models. For a couple more creature features, there's wireless charging available in the interior, also an 8-inch touchscreen on SE and higher trim levels, and also on the options list is a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, which would show vehicle speed, fuel, tachometer, all that information right up where your gauges would normally be. And then finally, just to kind of wrap up on overall styling, the latest Escape kind of borrows some of the styling cues from other vehicles in the Ford lineup. The trapezoidal, the grille in front is kind of familiar to Mustang fans if you abstract it a little bit. And overall, the vehicle is lower, wider, and longer than the outgoing model, which again is a sort of an attempt to make this more palatable to people who might be coming from a sedan moving into a different vehicle in Ford's lineup, since Ford decided to kill off all their sedans. So I know that's kind of a long list, there's a lot of information there, but we've actually had a pretty comprehensive release of information on this new Ford Escape. So I'm interested to hear what you guys think. Personally, if you're a sedan buyer, does this vehicle attract you at all? From my point of view, it really doesn't. I don't like these kind of mid-sized vehicles. I'm either would rather have an SUV, or I still would like a sedan, but obviously not through Ford. So I'm interested to hear what you guys think of this kind of compact crossover vehicle. Also, what do you think of the engine lineup? What do you think about the 3-cylinder coming to America and the cylinder deactivation? Will that be well received here? It's hard to say. I guess if it puts up great MPG numbers, then we'll probably get over it, but that's kind of, I don't know, it's surprising to see them bring it here to the US rather than just sticking with the 2-liter as the only option. But that takes care of it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on Tuesday for our next video.